So I'm going to go live on YouTube. Okay, well, as we're going live on YouTube, can you post your name and location in the chat? Yeah, I'd love to know where you're from, where you're dialing in from. So please do post. Okay, we're live on YouTube. Hooray. Okay, let's see where people are calling in from. Bonsoir from Paris. Lauren Rose, great to see you again, Lauren Rose. Nancy in DC, and Hannah. Don't know, where are you from, Hannah? We have Preeti from India. Namaste, Preeti. And we have Hannah. Hannah, Georgia, okay, USA. And we have Akala from New Jersey, Gillian from Boston, and Leslie Ann from the UK. And we have Sun Owl from Wilmington, NC in the US. Is that right? Okay, welcome everyone. Great to see you all. Great to have you all in this sacred space. And I'll start off with the introductions. And so let's get started. A warm welcome, everyone, to the Sacred Union Global Summit. We're already on day 2 of this beautiful summit, so I welcome you wholeheartedly. The Sacred Union is a journey to self, and it's all about recognizing the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, and the feminine and the masculine within the self, and acknowledging that we need it all to become whole and one with Source. It's in the experience and knowing that being one with everything there is will liberate us from the bondage of hate, separation, poverty, lack, and everything that we are not. The sacred union is also about connecting with our divine feminine and our divine masculine within to restore balance, peace, and harmony within and without, to come home to unity consciousness, the truth of being one with everything that is. So it's time to know thyself, to remember who you truly are, which is pure divine love. My name is Ami Sohi, and I'm the host and creator of this event, and I'm delighted to have you all here today. Thank you so much for taking the time to be present with us today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. So without further ado, I'm very excited and thrilled to present to you my mentor and summit creation coach, the one and only Jocelyn Starfeather. Welcome, Jocelyn. It's an honor and a delight to have you here with us.
Oh, hi, Ami. Hi, everybody out there around the world. It is such a pleasure to be here with you, Ami. And I just can't thank you enough for creating this amazing, beautiful event. And what a powerful topic. So thank you for all you've done to bring this into the world. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you for your kind words, Jocelyn. Before I start introducing Jocelyn to everybody, I just want to say, Jocelyn, a big thank you to you for all your support and mentorship and help during the creation of this summit. You know, all this would not have been possible if it wasn't for your support and guidance during these last 6 months. So once again, thank you from my heart. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ami. You've done such beautiful work here. It's just amazing.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who don't know Jocelyn, I'll introduce you to Jocelyn. Jocelyn is a visibility and thought leadership coach for visionary entrepreneurs, spiritual alchemist, astrologer, and founder of Sacred Planet. She's also the founder of the Academy of the Wild Soul, a global school for quantum evolution, and the Global School for Star Children, which just launched in January 2024. So congratulations to Jocelyn on that great project that she's been working on. She shares shamanic and ancient wisdom to guide courageous seekers in co-creating a revolutionary new world in alignment with Mother Earth and the vast intelligence of the cosmos. After a successful 15-year corporate career working in finance for major multinational companies, Jocelyn was thrust into a deep spiritual awakening. It was that awakening that turned her life upside down, and from which she emerged with a powerful understanding of how to use her intuition and healing abilities, aspects of herself that she'd never had access to before. She dove deeply into earth-based and shamanic practices, and she has studied alongside elders and wisdom keepers ever since. She has extensively studied ancient civilization, especially cultures where the goddess held a strong presence, and she has spent profound and life-changing time in the ancient temples and pyramids of Egypt. Jocelyn blends alchemy, astrology, hermeticism, ancient and indigenous wisdom, and a magical shamanic perspective to coach and guide visionary entrepreneurs, revolutionaries, and changemakers all around the world. One of Jocelyn's favorite ways to work with her clients is guiding them to create their very own global summits and conferences through her specialized Soulful Summit creation process, which I am part of. So very profound. Thank you so much for all that you do, Jocelyn. So you can find more about Jocelyn's work on her website, wearesacredplanet.com, and the Sacred Planet YouTube channel as well. So Jocelyn's topic for today is Alchemy of the Heart Chakra and the Precessional Ages of Leo and Aquarius. Beautiful topic. Jocelyn, once again, a warm welcome to you. And I'd like to start off with asking you, what is alchemy? Please share the alchemical prayer with us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ami, for this wonderful introduction. And I just want to say it's such a pleasure to work with you always, and such a pleasure to be here as part of your wonderful event. So as I've mentioned to you, and I'll let everybody know now too, I have slides. And if those of you who know me, I love showing the images, especially when it comes to alchemy or Egypt or these incredible topics. The visuals, like an image, just says even more than the words can. So I'm going to share some slides as we begin here today. So let me get my screen share started up. There we go. Okay. And we have the Sphinx and two of the three pyramids on the Giza Plateau on our slides today, and I'll explain why in a little bit when we get to that point. So let's dive in. So alchemy. Alchemy is an incredible process through which we transform ourselves and we transform the world around us. And alchemy is both an art and a science. It is a science because we can do experiments. We can try something and measure the results and try again and see if we get a different result. It's actually, alchemy was the foundation of the experimental method or the scientific method that is used in science today, which is quite fascinating. But it's also an art because we are also connecting in with the divine. We are connecting in with our creativity. We are connecting in with higher consciousness, and we are going beyond just the scientific. Now, alchemy is very much about understanding and bringing balance to the polarities or opposites in our world, which I'll talk about even more in just a minute as related to the heart chakra. And it's also about turning our shadows and our deepest challenges, which in alchemy we call the lead of our life, into light, healing, and highest consciousness, which we call the gold. Now, alchemy was historically practiced as a core and essential part of the ancient mystery schools across most of the world, really. China, India, the Near and Middle East, and Europe. We have it well documented, and I believe that it was practiced in other places as well, including the Americas. We just don't have as much historical record. And everywhere that it was practiced, it was deeply interwoven with the use of astrology and astronomy, because we must be in alignment with the cosmic plan, the larger universal plan, in order for our alchemy to properly create the frequencies for the transformation that we seek. And I just love this image in relation to alchemy. So it shows this person who was just walking along through the normal world with the trees and the sun and everything, and has suddenly broken through into seeing the inner workings of the universe, right? And this is kind of how it is when we work with alchemy, or healing or other transformational modalities. And I think this is all of us right now in the world. We're kind of like breaking through into the other dimensions as our world is changing so quickly right now. So alchemy is the art of true transformation, where we turn our own darkness into light. We turn our lead into gold. And alchemy was studied extensively by many of the great minds: Pythagoras, Carl Jung, Dennis William Hulk, many more in the Greek tradition, masters and visionaries throughout the ages. And so it is fascinating, this method of combining both art and science. Now, the word comes from the Arabic word, which was alchemia. And interestingly, alchemy played a significant role in early modern science, in especially chemistry and medicine. And it established the experimental method and scientific testing for an anticipated outcome, which we still use today. Alchemy is highly practical and occurs on a very physical, observable, scientific level, yet it is also magical, because the results we receive can be completely beyond our expectations. And so this is an image showing one version of the Emerald Tablet. There are different translations of the Emerald Tablet, but especially clear in this version of the Emerald Tablet is this concept that we need to align with the great above, the stars and the celestial bodies, and the great below, the earth, to create heaven on earth. And we see this throughout the texts and the hieroglyphs in the temples all throughout Egypt, this concept of aligning the great above with the great below to create heaven on earth. When we do this successfully, right, the sacred union of the great above and the great below, we get to live in connection with the magic, in connection with life, with possibilities. And I see this zone of life that we live in here on the earth. We have the cosmos above, we have the earth below us, and we're here in the center. And where those two combine, there is magic, there is life. It's like there's this thin layer of life where all forms of life as we know it exist, right? All the plants, all the animals, ourselves. And it's this mysterious meeting point between the earth and the sky. And it's like the sacred union of the great above and the great below are creating the possibility of life itself. And life is the greatest mystery of all. And I say it's the greatest alchemical mystery of all. Now, I do need to mention Thoth. And so on the right, you'll see the ibis-headed god as he's pictured in Egypt in the hieroglyphs. On the left here, this is an image from Abydos temple where he is giving the Ankh, the key of life, to the pharaoh, King Seti I. And interestingly, this being, who is called Thoth or Jehuti in the Egyptian mythology, shows up all around the world. And I have many of his various names here. Interestingly, there is always this presence of a civilizing being that comes in and teaches the people about the sciences, writing, mathematics, architecture, astrology, astronomy, in all of these different cultures. And so this is the being that is Thoth in the Egyptian mythology. Now, he is said to have been the author of the Emerald Tablet. And in the Emerald Tablet, he wrote down the core principles of alchemy, including how to work with polarities, how to work with magic. And this knowledge was meant to be passed down to future generations. And we're so fortunate because these writings were not destroyed. They have been passed down to us, so we can study them today. Now, as I mentioned, when we work with alchemy, we receive far beyond what we ever expected. And that's the basis of the alchemical prayer. So this is the alchemical prayer, and I really invite everybody to say this with me. It's a very, very powerful prayer. It will begin to shift everything in your life to come into higher alignment with your soul and with what you truly desire. And this is a prayer that was given to me by my guides many years ago now when I was starting to work with alchemy. So let's say this together. You can see it on the screen here. Dear universe, please send me all of the things that I need and most deeply desire that I do not even yet know are possible. And I always invite you to just place your hands on your heart after you say it and close your eyes and just take a deep breath in and really feel all of the abundance beyond your wildest imaginings of what abundance could look like in your life. Just feel that flowing into your heart through your in-breath. And allow yourself to fully receive all of that abundance. Aho, and so it is. Blessed be. Now, when we work with alchemy, we get to work with the chakras. And so this chart here shows the chakras from the crown all the way to the root and the corresponding planet. And so the sun corresponds to the crown chakra, the moon corresponds to the third eye or Ajna chakra, and so on. Now in alchemy, we begin at the root with Saturn. And we spend time at each stage. The first stage of alchemy is calcination with the root chakra and Saturn, and so on. We move up through the chakras and up through the planets, and different transformations take place at every point. Now, what I want to share with you about specifically today is the Anahata chakra, the heart chakra, because this is, as you can see very clearly on this chart, the center chakra. It is the center point in our chakra system, and it is the chakra that unites the great above and the great below. So this fourth stage of alchemy is called conjunction, and it is ruled by the heart and the planet Venus. Now, conjunction is the sacred marriage or the sacred union. And this sacred union, sacred marriage occurs in the heart. So in this stage of alchemy, when we're working with the heart chakra, we unite the polarities so that we can find peace and balance at our center. So these polarities, of course, there are many polarities in our world. And this is something we're seeing so strongly in the world right now, that the polarities are rising up. They're becoming really visible. They're becoming really evident. And so we're seeing polarization. And so we need more than ever right now to really work with the heart chakra, to really find the balancing point at the center so that we can be in peace and not too much in fear or not too much in the grief and loss, right? To really find the balancing point at the center. So some of these polarities are masculine and feminine, light and dark, love and fear, joyful and grieving, above and below, life and death. And what we will notice about polarities, which is a core principle of alchemy, is that on every polarity that we list here, both sides are extremely important. We would not want to just eliminate the half of them that we don't like as much, right? That would throw the world completely out of balance. Without death, we would not have life. Without the feminine, we would not have the masculine. Without the masculine, we would not have the feminine. And so we want to accept these polarities. We want to embrace them. And we want to welcome them all as important parts of our existence and important parts of life. And we acknowledge the need to feel and experience all of them. And even more, we can thank them. We can honor them because they each serve us at different points in our journey, and they're absolutely necessary at certain points in our journey. And as we work with the heart, we develop our skill at holding a beautiful balance point in the center. So the heart chakra is this center point within us. It is the point of courage. And in many languages, such as French, the word for heart is courage, right? Cor in French and other languages as well. And it is the point of inner balance. The heart, and in fact, the work that the Heart Math Institute is doing, and Greg Braden and others are speaking about, is that the heart is equally important, or possibly even more important than the brain, in serving our functions of our body, our memory, our intellect. It's very interesting what's being learned about the heart. Now, the heart receives transmissions from heaven. It receives transmissions from the earth, from the great above and great below. And so when we are connected in with the heart, we have access to all of that information from the earth and cosmos, and we can then live in the highest alignment with natural order and cosmic law. Now, the heart is also the place where we can activate the sacred marriage within ourselves. And this is where we are bringing our inner queen and our inner king into highest harmonic balance so that we can experience that peace and joy from within. And through doing this, we learn how to find the calm, stable, and still point at the center in the heart. I'll just pause, Ami, in case you have any questions before I go on. I know I've shared a lot already.
Yeah, no, it's all beautiful and powerful shares. Thank you so much for this wisdom, Jocelyn. Yeah, it's just so true that the heart is the center point, and it's the marriage, right? With the, like as you mentioned, the above and the below. Yeah, so it's just to create this balance between the masculine, the feminine, and bringing our inner queen and inner king into balance, into harmonic balance. Yeah, such beautiful wisdom here. And you mentioned the Heart Math Institute. They're doing a lot of work on the heart, the mind heart coherence. I know Greg Braden talks a lot about that as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people are talking about the heart today. Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for your shares.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I believe, and I don't have all these exact facts and figures right in front of me, but I believe the latest research is showing we have more neurons in the heart than we do in the brain. And neurons are what send information, right, to different parts of the body, right? So very interesting. And this is something that the ancient people knew. We find this definitely in Egypt, in many ancient cultures around the world, that they believed that the heart was the foremost organ for our intellect, our memory, these kinds of things that today we associate with the brain. And so what if we're completely wrong that all of that is based in the brain? What if it's actually based in the heart? It's very fascinating to consider. So again, with the heart chakra as the center point within you, if we think about the heart chakra, we can imagine it as a beautiful emerald green lotus flower that's spinning at the center of your chest. It is that balancing point with the three chakras above that are connected to the realms of the cosmos, three chakras below connected to the realms of the earth, and it is balancing all of those. Now, with our hearts, it is so important to feel our emotions, because our emotions are our deep inner wisdom speaking to us. Our emotions are the coming forth of what we know in our body, but our mind doesn't even often know it yet. And that's why our emotions can be unsettling. Like if we find ourselves suddenly feeling really, really angry or really, really sad, and we don't even fully understand why. This is the wisdom of the body and the wisdom of the heart telling you important information that your mind doesn't even know yet, right? So it's incredibly important to pay attention to our emotions. Now, in the heart, we develop clarity on what we most deeply desire. So our desires are also important. Our emotions are important. Our desires are important. Often in the modern world, we're taught to push those things down, our emotions and our desires, to not be selfish, not want too much, or not try to get our deepest desires, where actually it's really important to follow them. And in the heart, we develop the courage to follow those desires. And in alchemy, we work with the heart chakra, and then we move up to the 5th stage of alchemy in the throat, which is fermentation. And so the desires of the heart, once we have worked with that sufficiently, rise up into the throat to be expressed. And so that heart energy is coming up and then being communicated out. And so the heart is where our agency and power to create is ignited, and then the throat chakra allows us to express and create through our words and our creative expression as well. So the next piece I'm going to move into here, and then I'll connect all of it together, is this information about the precession of the equinoxes. So let me share why this is important as related to our conversation today. So let me just explain what is the precession of the equinoxes. This is a beautiful chart here from classichistory.net. I have the link there in case anybody wants to look it up. That shows the shifting over time of the precessional ages. So we know now that I'm sure you've heard, we're about to move into the age of Aquarius. So we are right here on this line between Pisces and Aquarius. Now, what this means is that we pay attention when we're studying the precession of the equinoxes, we pay attention to where the sun is rising on the vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. So on the first day of spring in the northern hemisphere, what constellation is the sun showing up in when it rises? And that changes and shifts over time. And so the sun has been rising in the constellation of Pisces for the last approximately 2,150 years. And the sun now is rising right on the cusp between the constellation of Pisces and the constellation of Aquarius on the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere. So as we go forward, the next 2,150 years, the sun will be rising in the age of Aquarius, or in the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And that's why we say we're going to enter the age of Aquarius. What's really fascinating is that if we go back in time, we find that the age we are in shows up symbolically and through actual historical events in the most incredible ways. For example, during the age of Taurus, cultures all around the world worshipped the bulls and the cows. They held them sacred. They would hold them as the greatest gods and goddesses. And we were really solidifying into physical form here, which is something that's a whole other subject, but we were becoming more physical beings at this time, becoming more dense, right? And Taurus is our 3D existence. Now, I could give a lot of other examples through history. If you'll notice one of the symbols for Christianity and for the faith, traditions of Jesus is the two fishes, right? Or the one fish. So it's very interesting how these symbols show up. Now, the ancient people studied the precession of the equinoxes, which is absolutely incredible. We see this in Egypt, in the Mayan culture, the Aztec culture, in the Peruvian culture. We see it in the ancient Indian culture, all around the world. They were following and marking the precession of the equinoxes. They were aware of this, even though it would be extremely difficult to track this across the vast spans of time, because this is a 26,000-year cycle. And so there must have been some reason why they were tracking it. Now we know that the Great Flood occurred during the age of Leo. So the age of Leo is right here. It was from approximately 10,800 BC to 8650 BC, approximately. This is also more evidence is showing this is probably the time frame when the Sphinx was constructed in Egypt. But the Great Flood that is written in the Bible, that is written in the Sumerian texts and many different ancient texts, occurred during this time. And then we see in the Temple of Dendera, for example, in Egypt, that the age of Cancer was considered the beginning times when people emerged from the Great Flood and began to expand their culture once again. What's interesting now is that as we enter the age of Aquarius, we are coming into the opposite sign from the age of Leo. So the sun right now is rising opposite to where it was when it was beginning the age of Leo at the end of the last ice age. Now, this is significant, right? We were talking about polarities. We are exactly opposite that part of the precessional cycle where these major changes occurred. Now, I have a note here about why the precession of the equinoxes occurs. This is a new theory of precession, and I am sharing it because I believe it's more accurate than what's probably, still written in the history textbooks today, which is that the Earth has a wobble. But more and more studies are showing the Earth doesn't have a wobble, okay? And that actually precession occurs because the sun itself is orbiting around another star. So when two stars are binary, they're orbiting around each other. They're sharing a gravitational field, and they're orbiting around each other out in the Milky Way, out in the galaxy. And so what this means is that our entire solar system, because we're all here traveling with the sun, right? We are also orbiting around that other star. And we are traveling through vast expanses of space in the Milky Way galaxy. And this is a 26,000 year cycle. It takes us about 26,000 years to go around that other star. So the changes that we see in the sky over these vast eons of time are because our view looking out from the Earth is changing on a 26,000 year cycle. We're in a different part of the universe as we go, right? Now, taking this a bit further, it's fascinating because we know that major Earth events, major human civilization and human history events occur every 26,000 years and every 13,000 years. So when we pass through certain areas of the universe, we are coming into connection with different energies, right? Different star systems, different nebulas, different energetics out there. And so we are moving now, as we enter the age of Aquarius, into a higher consciousness part of the universe. And we are rising in our consciousness at this time. At other times, we've been falling in our consciousness, right? For many thousands of years now, we've been falling in our consciousness from that high point, which occurred during and right after the age of Leo. And now we have a chance to come back into high consciousness because of where we're traveling through out there in the universe. It's hard to explain, so hopefully that was clear. Now, 80% of the stars in our galaxy are binary stars, so it makes sense that our sun would also be a binary star. And this is why this theory is gaining a lot more weight right now. We see the North Stars changing. This is probably what the ancient people noticed more than anything, was that the North Star would change over time. So about 5,000 years ago, which is historically considered to be the height of the Egyptian civilization, the star Thuban, which is in the tail of Draco the dragon, it's right here on the slide, was our North Star. But today, Polaris, which is over here, it is at the end of the tail of the Little Dipper, is our North Star. So this chart, this is a really cool chart from Earth Sky that shows how the precessional cycle goes around the North Stars every 26,000 years. So there are ancient prophecies from all around the world referring to these great 26,000 year cycles, and halfway through also counts. The 13,000 year mark is very significant. And they created these incredible complex calendars and tracking systems, and they built many of these calendars into stone, like we have Stonehenge right here. Many temples and pyramid sites around the world are marking the precession of the equinoxes. They went to this effort to leave the records of these great ages for us, for those who are coming later in history, because these great ages mark points of great transformation on the earth. So bringing this all together then, both the age of Aquarius and the age of Leo are turning points in that great precessional cycle. And the Sphinx, which you see here again on our slide, in Giza, is a reminder of the age of Leo. Now, the Sphinx is always facing east. And what we have learned is that through extensive studies, through various different researchers, during the age of Leo, when the sun was rising in the constellation of Leo, the Sphinx would have been looking directly at its match, right? Directly at its pair there, the constellation of Leo, the lion. The Sphinx does have a human head today, but we have a lot of evidence that it was recarved at some point in history and was probably originally a lion, as the rest of its body is a lion. So the Sphinx is a marker. It is a reminder of the age of Leo, and it is calling to us to remember these great cycles. And so it's so important to know we are at the opposite end of that polarity now. We are exactly opposite the age of Leo. And so this is a vast, big picture explanation of why we're going through so many changes in our world right now. So I hope that's been fun for everybody to explore.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thank you. You mentioned the sun is orbiting another star, right? What's the name of the star it's orbiting?
Yes, there are different theories on this. So it could be Sirius, it could be the star Sirius, right? And there is evidence for this. So here's something fascinating about the star Sirius. At different points in history, the star Sirius sometimes appears blue and it sometimes appears red. Right now, if you can't see it right now in July, but as the months move on, you'll be able to see Sirius in the sky. And when you go out and see that star, it will be blue. But very clearly written in the Greek text from about 2,000 years ago, they refer to the star Sirius, and it's very clear they're talking about the same star, and they say that it's red. Now, why would that be? So here's what has been discovered. We sometimes move toward Sirius and sometimes move away from it. When we're moving toward it, the star appears blue. When we're moving away from it, it appears red. So because this changes frequently over the ages, that would indicate we are in this binary relationship with that star. We don't know for sure. There are other theories, but that's the one that has resonated the most with me, as far as which is the other star. But yeah, great question.
Yeah, wow, beautiful. Jocelyn, we do have some questions in the chat. Christine is asking, is the heart chakra shown on the chart to be connected to the kidneys? Because our heart chakra is our filter. Is that
Oh,
right?
well, so the heart and the kidneys, I am not an expert in Chinese medicine, but I find acupuncture fascinating. So I've asked my acupuncturist a lot of questions. And so one thing that I know is that the meridians in Chinese medicine, the heart chakra meridians are very closely linked to the kidney meridians. So my understanding is that those two organs, or I guess it's like three organs, but the kidneys and the heart are very connected. They influence one another in the body. And so the ancient people have known this for quite a long time. It might be something that doctors today would say, no, the heart and the kidneys are not connected, but the Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine has known that for over 5,000 years. So yeah,
Mm.
but the heart is not, I don't believe the heart is so much a filter. There are other organs that are more of a filter, but this is about the energetic and health and healing connection of those organs in the body.
Oh,
As we
okay.
heal our heart, we heal the kidneys. And as we heal the kidneys, we heal the heart.
Oh, okay. Wow, beautiful. And Meredith is asking, why do we move backwards discussing precession ages, as in contrast from the flow in the annual zodiac movement?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, this is just natural order and cosmic law. This is the way it works, that as the stars and the planets and the sun and the moon move through the sky, they move forward through the zodiac signs, unless they're in retrograde. When Mercury is retrograde, as it appears from Earth, it appears to move backwards and then go forward again. So all of those move forward, starting. If we start with Aries, then it goes to Taurus, then it goes to Gemini, and so on. But the way that it works with precession, we have, it's just, this is just a fact. I don't know exactly why, as far as dynamics out in the cosmos, but it's very clear that the sun rose in Leo for 2,150 years, then it rose in the zodiac sign of Cancer, then it rose in the zodiac sign of Gemini. And so this is the way it's set up, part of the sacred architecture of creation.
Mm. Okay, hope that answers your question, Meredith. Thank you for the question. Yeah, you're getting a lot of thank yous and fascinating, insightful. So yeah, great shares there, Jocelyn. And how are Leo, Aquarius, and the heart all connected?
Oh, yes, right. So, as I explained, the Leo and Aquarius are the opposite polarities there, right? And so, in the zodiac, if you look at medical astrology, Every zodiac sign is associated with different parts of the body. So the sign of Leo is associated with the heart. And this is very significant because the lion, has the courage. The lion, and all of the big cats, right? They have this fierce love energy. They have this energy of courage, of confidence, boldness. These are the qualities of Leo. Now, as we are entering into the sign of Aquarius, what's interesting is that Aquarius is an air sign, and it actually can feel very cold and distant. It can feel very technology based. And at the same time, Aquarius also holds the archetypes of the community and of respecting and honoring the individual for their uniqueness. So there's this interesting balance in Aquarius of kind of cold and distant energies and warm and heartful energies. And I feel it's so important for us as we're navigating this shift and moving into the age of Aquarius to really reach back across to Leo, to pull forward the heart energies and to focus on the energy of Aquarius that is very heartful, which is about building our communities, especially local communities, healing communities. How can we support each other as the old systems are breaking down, right? What do we need to feel good and safe and happy as part of the community? And how can we open our hearts to the uniqueness of others? This is something really, really important with Aquarius. How can we really respect and acknowledge where we're different from one another, because that reduces the polarization, right? And even if I don't agree with somebody, I can respect them as an individual. Or maybe this person over here has a wild and crazy new idea that I never thought of. And actually, I can see how that's a fantastic idea. And I'm going to go ahead and embrace that because it makes sense to me, right? Like just opening our heart. So as we work with this Leo Aquarius axis, the heart becomes very, very important for how we move forward and balance the polarities, find peace and harmony within in all that we do.
Yeah, beautiful. So it's time to lead with the heart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've been leading with our mind for so long now. Yeah,
So long.
yeah.
Yes.
I
And
mean,
that's one of the dangers of the age of Aquarius, is going more into the mind, more into the technology. And that's not the solution. We want to really turn toward the archetypes of Aquarius that are going to help and support us at this time.
yeah, yeah, beautiful. Thank you for the share. And, when you say the heart can handle it, even when the mind cannot, what does that exactly mean?
Yeah, this was a download that I had, that it just felt like it came from the light. One day when I was sitting out in nature, and this voice said, your hearts can handle it even when your minds cannot. And I was like, whoa, what is that all about? So I spent a lot of time kind of meditating on that. And the thing is, there is so much going on in the world that can throw us off, that can make us feel fearful or angry or disconnected or whatever it might be. But that's all happening in the mind. And when we drop into the heart, we find our wholeness again, because the heart is that balancing point between all of the polarities. The heart can find the harmonic balance among all of the polarities. So whenever you're getting spun out, check in. Is it your mind? It probably is. I would venture to say 99.99999% of the time, when we're feeling stressed or fearful or whatever it might be that's very uncomfortable, it's because our mind has gone overboard. It's because we're in the thinking place. And the thing is that what's happening through us at this time on earth, it's more than the human mind can comprehend. It is very divine. It is very light filled, and it does not always feel that way, right? And we see lots of events happening on the earth today that are not what we would choose. And there's this element right now of needing to go into the heart and have trust in the higher plan, have trust that we're being guided to a new place, that these systems have got to break down. We can't keep living this way. And we're getting a lot of help in breaking them down so that we can build something new, so that we can build what comes next. And that's going to continue happening. So we don't want to run away from it. We don't want to try to like zone out from what's happening. We want to actually tune in, but with the heart, because tuning into it with the mind is just going to bring us down more rabbit holes. But tuning into it with the heart, we can see and feel the higher plan. We can find the balance and peace at the center. And that is absolutely where we need to be at this time.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's definitely an awakening happening at this, the global awakening. Yeah, so basically, what you're saying is, yes, we know, there are not so good things happening out there, but just not be in the judgmental, the mind kind of place, where the
Well,
mind judges all the time. So
uh,
go into the heart space.
yeah, the
Yeah.
mind is always judging. Exactly. And the other thing is, there are so many miracles happening right now. I have heard so many stories from people of these, talking about sacred union, these incredible partnerships being formed. That's like beyond either of the partner's expectations for what is possible, or people finding the perfect home for them when they least expected it, or there's so many different stories I could give. So really also look out for the miracles because they are happening now. And as I've said in other talks recently, the intensity that we are feeling at this time is our own power and magic breaking through again. Now, our power and magic is not just the nice, pretty, fun parts of life. Our power and magic also includes the darkness, the intensity, the major changes in the world that have to happen. It's all part of the magic. It's all part of the higher plan. It's all part of our remembrance and our awakening at this time. So we want to know that it's all happening. All those polarities, light and dark, life and death, it's all happening and it's all important. And we want to embrace all of it and know that we are coming back to ourselves. We are coming back to our remembrance of our true power and all that we hold. So focus on the miracles as much as you can. Focus on the light and do everything you do from the heart.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful advice. Thank you for that. Yes, focus on the heart space. Yes. I'm just checking if we have any more questions for you. Not really, just comments there. Yeah, well said. So someone's commented, it's all about balance. Yes. Yeah. Anything else that's coming through, Jocelyn, that you'd like to share with the audience today?
Well, I would say if you're feeling any, despair about what's happening in the world as we're moving into the age of Aquarius, there will continue to be more changes, right? Um, find what you love, find what you love to do, and do more and more of that. That's one really amazing way to connect in with our heart. Maybe you might be finding it hard to connect with your heart through meditation, especially if the mind is running. It can be hard to drop into that space. Do something that you love, right? Maybe you love to just be near a tree and absorb the positive energy of the tree. Maybe you love to knit. Maybe you love to hold your pet, your dog or cat, in your arms and experience love in that way. Do more and more of what you love. This is a wonderful way for us to get connected into the heart energy and live more and more from that place. And as we do what we love, we bring more joy and love and peace into the world. It just happens naturally. So yeah, that's the additional thought that came through. So I hope that's helpful to everybody.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful share. Meredith is saying, follow your bliss from Joseph Campbell.
Yes,
Beautiful,
exactly.
Meredith.
Follow
Yeah.
your breath. Yeah,
That's right. Follow your bliss by following your heart. Yes.
it will always lead you well. And that is that, yeah, we're following our heart when we follow our bliss. And those deepest desires are so important to follow.
Yeah,
Don't let
yeah,
anyone tell you otherwise.
yeah, yeah. I know. People say your heart always knows, right? Knows the
Mm,
truth. Yeah. hmm
yeah.
Yeah. So, thank you for those shares, Jocelyn. Beautiful, beautiful session today. I know you have a free gift for the audience to share. Would you like to say a few words on that? And any other projects you're working on?
Absolutely. Is it did I give you Awaken Your Connection with Ancient Egypt as the free gift? I have a few different
Yes.
free gifts that I use.
Um, it, let me just check. it's about awaken your connection with ancient Egypt. Yeah.
Okay, very good. That's what I was hoping that I gave because it's super relevant. So, so this free gift is a video workshop that I think you will love. It's called Awaken Your Connection with Ancient Egypt, Find Your Power in the Magic of Long Ago. And in it, I have another beautiful slideshow where I'm showing a lot of imagery from Egypt, a lot of hieroglyphic images, images from inside the temples. It's really, really powerful, and it connects you with the energy of the goddess Ma'at, who she's actually right behind me here as I'm recording this interview. She has the ostrich feather on her head, and she is the one who holds our world in natural order and cosmic law and harmony and balance. She's like the scales. And so you'll learn about her. You'll learn more also about the god Osiris or Usir. He's the husband of Isis and very, very important to the Egyptian mythology. And so this is a workshop to connect you with your own power. And there's a beautiful shamanic journey at the end also to help you travel back to your past lives where you held great power to remember and bring that power back into this life. So I hope you all enjoy it. It was really fun to create, and I think you'll love it.
Wow, amazing. So everybody, please check out Jocelyn's free gift. It's available, it'll be available on the speaker page, on the website, the summit website. So do check free gift out. Beautiful gems there, beautiful wisdom. And also check out Jocelyn's website, wearesacredplanet.com. And I know, Jocelyn, this beautiful project you launched in January, the Global School for Quantum Evolution and the Global School for Star Children. Do you want to say a few words on that?
Yeah, and I'll put that link in the chat here too. So and Ami's a part of this project too. We're working together on it, and so it's just such a pleasure to always work with you, Ami. So in this school, the Global School for Quantum Evolution, we have a school for adults and a school for children. And so the school for kids is called the Global School for Star Children. And through both of those schools, we are putting courses out there on paradigm shifting topics from the most amazing and wonderful teachers from all around the world. And all of the courses in the school are donation based. And this is a really important part of the principles of our school is sacred economics and really, really creating a space where there is abundance and there is no financial restriction to joining, and everybody can feel and take part in the abundance of the amazing courses that are being offered. So definitely check that page out if you'd like to get notifications about the Global School for Quantum Evolution. You can fill out the form on that page to give us your email address, and we will keep you updated. And we have wonderful new courses coming out all the time. We also have new courses coming out for the Global School for Star Children this September. So a whole new round of courses for the children. And this is where children can learn about topics that are not taught in, our modern day westernized schools. So Reiki for kids, herbal medicine for kids, connecting with your dream animals for kids, really amazing topics that we've had there. So we look forward to bringing new courses out for the children in September as well. So yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Ami. It's so fun to talk about it and share about it, and everybody can learn more at that link.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I love what you're doing, for the children, because I know I have a son who is he's finished school now, but hated, especially the last 4 years. It's been a
Mm.
struggle to get him through. Does not fit in the system. So I believe a lot
Yeah,
of the
this,
new, yeah, star seeds, children, they don't fit in the system. So thank you
uh,
for all that you're doing. Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, I'm glad everybody's inspired by
Yes.
that.
And
It's,
the
it's,
sacred economics, yeah. Catherine is saying that she's never heard of that term before, and
mm,
she loves it. Yes,
yeah.
it's beautiful, beautiful
Yeah, if you
work.
want to learn more about sacred economics, I highly recommend a book by Charles Eisenstein that's called Sacred Economics. It's a fascinating book, an amazing, amazing book that is really, he's way ahead of his time. He wrote it like maybe 10 years ago, maybe more, way ahead of his time.
So, sorry,
All
what
right.
was the name again?
I'll write it in the chat. Charles Eisenstein.
Oh.
And the last name is Eisenstein. So if you Google Charles Sacred Economics, you'll find it.
Ah, okay,
If you
beautiful.
don't get the last name.
Wow, yeah, beautiful. So, yeah, we have a few more minutes left. So, if anybody has any questions for Jocelyn, so now's your chance to just type in the chat and ask away.
Yeah. And thank you all for being on live, everybody. And hello to those watching this later as a recording. So fun to share with everyone. I'm
Mm,
so excited that you made live interviews a part of your event, Ami. It's just so cool to connect with everybody out there in this way. So amazing.
yeah, and they're so much fun, right? Because everyone gets to interact. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, this is a wonderful audience here.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful audience.
Oh, I see your question, Hannah. Are you seeking volunteers to assist in classes? So we are looking for volunteers. Now, we have a lot of teachers already planned out into the future. But what we're recommending is if you wanted to be a volunteer, there are different administrative positions that we have available. And this is for the Global School for Star Children in particular, because we have a team working on the Quantum Evolution School, but the Global School for Star Children is where we need more support. So I can pull up the form and I will put it in the chat here. And then, I don't know if it would be possible for you to add this to my speaker page as well, but
Yes,
it would be
definitely.
great if people want to fill out this form. What we recommend is that you come in and serve a course facilitator or an administrative type role first, and then we get to know you, you get to know us, and eventually you can move on and be a teacher if you would like to. Or if you prefer to do the administrative role, you can stay in that, of course, as long as you want. So let me share this link. I'm just navigating to it on my computer here. So this is the application to fill out if you'd like to contribute to the Global School for Star Children. And we do, as long as we have a profit in any given time frame in which you are contributing, we do share that profit with our volunteer team members. We can't guarantee that there will be a profit, but if there is, we will share it with you. So there is the potential to earn income. So thank you for asking about that, Hannah.
Yeah, beautiful. So yeah, I will add it to your speaker page, Jocelyn, so people can have
Awesome.
access to that. If you'd like to volunteer, as Jocelyn mentioned, as a facilitator or administrator, then please do fill out the form. It's a beautiful, sacred place, space, container, and beautiful courses offered for the children and also for adults, right? We've had, we're running our third course now. So
Mhm.
amazing courses we've had this year and more to come this year as well. So amazing. It's just beautiful, magical. So, okay, I think we're, on the hour almost. So thank you so much again, Jocelyn. It was just a real pleasure to have you here with us.
Yeah.
And
Thank you,
Meredith
Ami.
is saying thank you for everything shared. Is there any plan or future intention for field trips, retreats, or a physical academy site? I would love to contribute, but sacred space and in-person communion is my only current offering. Okay.
Yeah, we hope so, Meredith. We just launched everything in January and we're doing it all online for now because of course that's much lower overhead and we're working on building up that part of the business. So I really do hope in the future that we will have a physical location and field trips, retreats, all these things you're saying. So yeah, stay tuned. We are definitely all hoping for the same.
Mm. Yeah. I know you're planning your trip to Egypt, right? Next year. Is
Yeah,
yeah,
I can put
anything
that link
you want
in
to
the chat
mention?
too.
Would like
Yeah,
to mention about that?
absolutely. I cannot get enough of talking about that. So I'll just put it up on the screen here for a moment because it's easy to see that way. And then I'll put the link in the chat. I am leading actually a couple of tours in April 2025 in Egypt. This is the main one, and I'll put this link in the chat here if you would like to check it out. And Ami was in Egypt with me last year, or earlier this year, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, time flies.
Yes, it was this year. Yes.
So this tour is called The Mysteries of the Great Goddess, and we will be working very specifically with the goddesses listed here: Isis, Hathor, Seshet, Sekhmet, and Ma'at. We will go to the temples to visit them, to work with them, to collaborate with them, and to learn from them. And so this tour is from April 15th to the 25th, 2025. And I will be joined by guest speakers Cynthia Honores and Vox Lumina. You can come here to the page and read more about it and learn all the details and see the full itinerary. But we are so excited. Lots of people are already registering, and we have a max of 40 people. So I would say if you're interested, sign up sooner than later. And there's an additional precursor to this main tour, which will be April 9th to the 13th, and it's an oracular priestess journey to Siwa Oasis. So if you come here and click on that link, you can learn more about that. They're both wonderful opportunities. So if you can join me for both, that would be even more amazing. So
Yeah,
thanks
beautiful.
for having
Yes, I was on the trip with you this year in in January. It was just amazing. Yeah, beautiful.
me.
And we went to the White Desert. Wow, that was really a beautiful experience, a very healing experience. Yeah.
So
So,
powerful there.
yeah,
Yes.
really powerful. Thank you again so much, Jocelyn. It was wonderful having you here with us. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And these interviews, they are available for 48 hours, after they become available, so you can re-listen to them or re-watch them. But if you would like to have VIP access, you're welcome to upgrade to lifetime access, so you can keep these forever. So great opportunity there for everybody. Okay, once again, thank you, Jocelyn, and
Thank you
yeah,
so much, Ami.
it was beautiful, a beautiful session. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Hi, everybody.